Join Cynthia Varkevisser, the modern-day mystic, as she helps you find your relationship's intuitive uniqueness, universal alignment, and a more meaningful connection. You're listening to the Modern Day Mystic Talks Relationships, hosted by Cynthia Varkevisser.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Friday. This is Cynthia Varkevisser, your modern-day mystic, talking relationships today. Today, I thought it would be a lot of fun if we talked about, within our relationships, or looking for relationships, about our imagination and projection. Now, a lot of people will say, we don't need imagination, we have our intention, and then what the heck is the difference between intention and imagination and projection? Well, that's a really good question, and that's what we're going to talk about. In a few minutes, I will be taking callers and answering questions with readings, so feel free to call in. All you have to do is dial 657-383 0608 and press 1 if you want to ask a question. Now, you can also ask a question within the chat room, and I'm happy to answer you that way as well. So, the past few weeks when I've been teaching my classes, inevitably everything boils down to a relationship and how someone wants the relationship, and then why the turnout is always a little bit different. And I always find that fascinating. And I do the same thing in my relationships, and it's not just my personal relationships in my home and within my family, but also in work and how I project myself and the outcomes that I intend versus imagine, or project versus imagine. So here is an example. The other day, I had someone come in, and they were a really lovely client, and we talked about many things, and you could feel that although we were asking these questions talking about these questions, that the important question was not yet addressed, and then the important question was still not yet addressed, and then finally, with just a few minutes left, the question arose about relationship and whether or not they should stick in with this one relationship. And I did my typical thing, which is you don't have to talk about what's going on with the relationship, just a really quick question, and then I asked for their partner's name. And once I got the name of the partner, I could tell that person was lovely and sweet and kind and dependable and honest and not the right fit. And I could also tell that this person knew that it was the right fit. And so I said, well, what is it that you're really looking for in a relationship? And they liked that there was someone that they could depend on, that they came home to somebody. They really liked that, and that's what they wanted. That's what they said they were intending. And yet, here was this relationship being a little bit wishy-washy, and they couldn't figure out why. So we had to be, really honest, which is like my favorite thing to do, is to get real and say, hey, do you really want this relationship? And they said yes. It's sweet, and it's fun to hang out and watch TV. And I said, how much do you really like watching TV? And that's where the pause was. So what it was boiling down to was that the person was decent and kind, and it was the first decent and kind relationship in a while, and they were perfect for that time in their life, and now they are in a place where they're ready to explore, and this person has already finished their exploring, at least for this time. And so they were sad because they liked the structure of the relationship, but it wasn't making them grow. And so what they didn't understand was that they were sending out two messages. And in their imagination, this person was the perfect person because it was all the things that, as Miranda was talking about in the previous show, about it was a quick mention about looking for someone else to complete you and that you'll never be complete. And that's pretty much what had happened. So this was this person's safety net. And we talked about the risks and rewards of going out and getting what it is that we're really looking for. So in her imagination, there was this perfect person. And in this perfect person for this relationship, they were dependable, they were kind, they had a good job, they were good at their job, they were respected at their job. They were not going to advance in their job, but that was okay. That's the way that they wanted it to be. And that the client said, this is exactly what I want. But when asking and really getting down into the emotions, the client was ready to travel and ready to explore and ready to party, actually. It was time to celebrate. She wanted to feel liberated in that way. And this person wasn't matching. And it was something that, believe it or not, deep down she wanted in her relationship. And so once we can figure out where we are and what is that we are really desiring in a relationship versus what we're projecting that we want in a relationship, things can get a lot simpler. I will never forget that when we first started thinking about intentions, I remember saying, oh no, it was before we had intentions, before intentions were a big deal, which was, I don't know, about 20 years ago. So this is before I got married, definitely before I had the kids. And I had this crazy criteria. And the person I wanted to be with was tall and bilingual and college educated and well-read and totally into their family, blah, 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 blah. And I would always hit the criteria, and it never worked. And not only did it not work, it never really worked for a very long time. And the people I did have relationships with, I was never feeling satisfied because I was like, well, where's that one item in that list of 25, right? Why aren't you bilingual? You can't be that perfect person? And it took a while to find out what it is that I was really looking for in a relationship. So I was projecting all these things, and the universe was quite lovely and gave me these amazingly beautiful people that didn't match. They didn't fit, and I couldn't figure it out. And then once I got a little bit more grown up and got past that whole fluffy criteria, what I found was although I did appreciate someone that was into their family, I really wanted someone who would be okay with being into my family. And that it wasn't that it was not just my family, but really into family so that we could create family. And it took a little while to really see that this is what I wanted, and that it was okay to have this imagination where the adventures were not exactly as I thought they were, but they were still adventures just the same. And then once that happened, all these other things just kind of came into play, and voila, I had a long-lasting relationship. And then, of course, we all change. There is, and when I say change, like I said it before, my Swami mommy's been married for over 50 years, and she says, I've only been married once, but I'm on my third husband. So I find it really interesting when people come in and they say this is what they want in a relationship, or they talk about who they have in their relationship and they don't understand what it is, when what's happening is that their imagination, which is really where all the possibilities exist, and we all pluck all the stuff that we want, which is exactly the way it's supposed to be, and then we project something different, and then we can't figure out why things get a little bit wonky. So, you know what I'd like to do? I'm going to actually switch things up a little bit today, and here's why. Taking a very long, circuitous route to talking about we set things up because of the way we project, and then we can't figure out why we're not getting what we want. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch up the program a little bit to shake myself up so that you can also experience what a shake-up is like. Normally I do I talk and share for a little bit. We take a break, and then we go to readings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking readings throughout, talk a little bit, take readings throughout. I had made a promise that I am going to take these at least 10 readings. Here's why. If you notice that when I take a reading, I ask you to give me your name, your age, and your birth month. What I'm going to do differently today is I will ask for your name, and I have a predetermined set of cards. And on these cards, I have written down what it is that is going to attract. What this means is that whoever caller number 1 is, I'm going to pick a card, and this card represents something. So before I have a chance to say anything, I'm going to tell the caller what it is, and we'll see. So my point is that we can imagine what we want, but if we have already set something up, it's the setup that is going to attract, and not the imagination. Then we need to redo the setup, and then we get a different kind of attraction. So, Ms. Tana, thank you so much for being so flexible with me. May I take a caller? Is it Alfina from Arizona?
Hello?
Hey, are you Alfina?
Yes.
How are you doing, Alfina?
I'm doing great.
Good. Hey, so what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, before I ask your question, I'm going to pull a card. All right?
Okay.
And the card is the number 2, and the 2 has to do with career. Now, what that means to me is that it doesn't mean that we're going to be talking about your career, but that whatever it is that we're going to be talking about, you can go ahead and resolve it through work or career in order for it to work in your other side of your life. Make sense? No?
Maybe.
Okay, I tell you what. I am over-explaining myself, so why don't you go ahead and ask your question?
It pertains to my current relationship. I'm just wondering what you, I guess, can pick up, or what you see.
Sure. Can you tell me? You can if you want. Can you tell me the other person's name?
Dale.
Dale. Because here's what I'm picking up. You got a lot of anxiety around this thing. I don't know what's really going on. It almost feels like you're afraid that you're the one that's going to drop him. Does that make sense when I say that? Or he's going to, sorry. It's almost as if you're afraid he's going to drop you. Does that make sense when I say that?
No, it's just anxiety around this. I just kind of have, my relationship is just like, it's scattered. I have different people of interest, and I have, and yeah.
So here's what's going on. All right. I really like you and where you are at this moment. And it doesn't feel really good to you, but it feels good to me. And the reason that it feels good to me is that you're kind of exploring a whole bunch of stuff. It's almost as if you're a kid in the candy store all over again, right? And the thing about Dale, I like Dale too. Dale's solid. He's not exactly your fit for right now, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't be together and work stuff out. But what's happening is that, are you feeling like, I'm telling you, to me, you feel like a kid in a candy store. So what that means to me is that you're working out different traits of your personality, which is, some days you feel sassy, some days you feel quiet, some days you feel brash, some days you feel, do you know what I'm saying? It's almost as if you're putting on different costumes all the time. And it's not that you're scattered or that you're flaky, but you really are exploring, and this is a really good time for you to be exploring. The thing with Dale is that he's not at that place right now. He's in a different phase. His phase is about foundation, about being solid, about being clear. And your clarity is about, hey, let's go explore. Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say that way?
It's not necessarily like a fun time or whatever, and I'm personally going through a lot, and there's a lot of things in my life that I need to situate in relationships right now. Like I said, I could probably name 3 people that are in my life, and I'm just kind of not.
Okay. I know you don't. Let's put it this way. I know you don't want to say too much, and I want to respect that. Okay. So
yeah. So this particular relationship is the one I'm asking about. So yeah.
Okay, so I will break it down in a different way, which is there are different aspects in your personality there are different parts in your personality that are needing to be explored, and this is why you're feeling scattered, you're feeling splintered, and I wouldn't be surprised if you have, let's just call them 2 different friend groups, 3 different friend groups. Now, do you understand what I'm talking about?
Sort of.
Okay, I'll use me as an example. All right. When I was going through this huge change, trying to figure out what it is that I want to do, I was thinking for the rest of my life. I was pretty categorized. So I had school friends, I had work friends, I had friends in my woo-woo community, and then I had sports friends. And those people never met, right? And it's not that I was secretive about it, but I was very categorized. Okay, so I was school friends at school, sports friends with my sports, work friends with my work, and then they would never mix. But then what happened was a point in my life came where I knew that that things were shifting up and things started getting messy. So I didn't really feel comfortable around my friend group. I didn't feel comfortable. I mean, my mom group. I didn't feel comfortable around my sports group. I didn't feel. Do you see what I'm saying? And then what happened was I started getting interested in different people in different ways. Now, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the shakeup. All right. So that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. What it is that you're going through a huge change. So if you're feeling flighty, or if you're feeling a little bit flaky, or if you're feeling distracted because there are other people in your life, you're in a place right now where it's natural because you are in a place of exploration. That's the best way to explain it. And that's probably why you feel like you need to get stuff situated, because it's not the normal you. Okay? So this thing that you have, the person that you have, my question to you is, do you want to stay with this person?
Yeah, of course. This is the person I have history with, and we were engaged before. So.
All right. It will take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of focus on your part. And so the reason I'm saying that is because if you focus on one thing, and I don't recommend that you focus on him, but if you focus on one thing, the rest of you is going to settle down a little bit, which means that it comes at a cost, and the cost is that you're not going to be able to explore in a certain way. And so you have to think about what is more important. Is it focusing and staying with this person, or is it going out and exploring and risking this relationship? I'm not going to say that the relationship will go away, but it'll definitely change, and you will have to rebuild because the relationship will change. Do you know what I'm saying? So it could be like just friends.
We're already in that process of rebuilding, so it's just, yeah, I guess my question really shouldn't have pertained to relationship, because it's, yeah.
Well, the way that I'm understanding it, okay, energetically, is that you want to be in the relationship. You're afraid you're going to lose the relationship, but you're also afraid that you're not going to be able to do all the things you want to do with the rebuilding of the relationship. So there's a piece of this relationship where you feel like you're going to have to change up in order to keep the relationship to work, to build the relationship. But there's also a part of you that wants to go out and explore and do new things. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess.
Okay, so I can't tell you, okay, I know you want me to. I cannot tell you he's the one for you or not the one for you, because you're at a point in your life where you're at I won't call it a crossroads, but let's just say it's a fork in the road. And in this fork in the road, you get to decide whether or not you want to focus on one thing, and it's not going to be your partner, on one thing. So it could be on career, it could be something. And by focusing on that one thing, it will give that settling aspect to the relationship, okay? Or you release the relationship, and then you get to explore and carry on. And the reason I say that is that there's no bad answer. It's just that it's going to be uncomfortable either way. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. He's, just so you know, he's a really good guy, and he's going to keep you honest. The question is how much do you really want to shift? And I won't say give up, because you're making a big you're the one that's making a choice. You have the control. The question is how much do you really want to shift up for this relationship? And it's not a sacrifice, it's a big choice. And if it was up to me, I would say take a risk and go explore yourself and see what happens. but you and I are two different people. You know what I mean? I get to say it with you're young. I'm 49, so I get to say it with an extra 20 years of experience on you. Make sense?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I love this person, and yeah.
I tell you this. I love my ex-husband. I love him a lot, and yet there's a time that you have to choose. And and there was a time, and guess what? He could have chosen as well, because he was feeling something similar. So the question is, so that you come to the same place. All right. He's a good guy, though. He's a really good guy, and you're a good person. And if you want to make it work, there's got to be a lot of focus on your part. Okay? So I hope that helps. And please feel free to call back or to revisit the blog to see if you can grab anything else. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Take really good care of yourself, and trust me, there's no such thing as a bad choice for you, especially not now. All right. So I now have a caller from Carrie from Rhode Island. May I please talk with Carrie?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thanks for calling in. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a first-time listener and a first-time caller, and I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Rhode Island.
How is it? We're not used to it. It's actually raining over here in the Bay Area, and we're not used to it. I'm a little freaked out. I'm not going to lie.
Well, for this time of year, I mean, it's 65 degrees all day, and yesterday was over 70, so we're definitely not used to that weather. But
holy cow! Well, congratulations! I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Hey, so how can I help you today?
I was just calling in to see any general messages that you may have. I know your topic is relationships, so I wasn't sure if you had any messages for me. I've recently gone through a period of transformation in the past year and a half, quite a few losses. I saw myself open up in new and different ways. Yeah. I do recently have somebody new in my life, so I just figured I would call in and see what guidance you may have.
Yeah, well, so then you heard that I'm switching things up a little bit today, and what I usually do is take your name and your age, and instead what I did is I had this predetermined set of cards, and then I would pull to see what you would get. You got the Joker, and the Joker's a great card. So you're actually, I see great things that are going on for you right now. I actually didn't need to pull the card to tell you that. You're going to feel like this is a year, you've already had some extremes, and this is going to be the settling of extremes, but you're still going to have some extreme swinging from one way to the other. The nice thing is that you can hold it now. You didn't have the capacity to hold it before, but now you can hold it much better, which means that you'll have the grace in order to swing one way and be really high, and it almost feels like manic, and it's okay to go in really deep and really quiet. So this is the one time in your life, because you're not going to have, I really don't think you're going to have a time like this ever again, in which you can go into any emotion and really explore the emotion. You'll be able to handle it, and you actually know how to talk to people around it. So you can say with grace, hey, I just need quiet time, and you could sit and actually chill out and hole up for a couple of days and come out great. So so those are the extremes, and enjoy those extremes, because you'll be on the other side able to relate to people in a different way. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what's up with your you have a brand spanking new relationship?
I do. It's actually someone I met through a former boyfriend of mine. And to give you some backstory on that, I had parted ways with him early last year. We had been together for quite some time, and unfortunately he passed in an accident last September.
So sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, after that period, I had some other losses, and I just sort of had to sort of take some time for myself and sort of figure everything out and work through my different stages of grief with different people. And then lo and behold, about 2 months ago, I crossed paths with this person that I had met previously through the person who passed away. And it's just been really seamless ever since, and it just feels really good, I mean, it's like they say, when you least expect it, people come back into your life. And, timing isn't everything, but, I mean, it's never going to be a perfect time. So I was a little wary at first because Obviously, I'm going through some transitions myself, but
Yeah.
the pace has been set very slow, and it just feels really good.
Well, here's what I like. What I really like is that you're in a like I said, remember you're able to hold all these big swings, right? And you're doing it with grace.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too is that you're really working on rebuilding your foundation. So, even if, just so you know, even without all the losses, you were at a place in your life where you were starting to rebuild your foundation and going, "Hey, I'm hitting this part of my life. I really want to kind of set things up and really know what my standards are. What is my what do I represent? That kind of thing." So that part's really nice. The beauty of it is, because you have this great foundation, you can actually kind of float along with this guy. And what I mean by that is, you can take it as fast or as slow as you want, because all this loss has pretty much sped up your foundation process, which is, this is what I want in my life. Isn't that crazy how loss does that, where you just get really clear? So, so the nice thing is that, and now this is an amazing thing, is that by him being with you, you're actually helping him become more clear, because he's a little bit too easygoing, let's say, so that sometimes he goes along with stuff even though he doesn't want to, but he does it for the sake of. And now he's learning not to. He's learning, the value of his own time and his emotions. So it's really lovely what you're bringing to the relationship. And what he's bringing to you is that he's actually adding to your foundation. He's a really good guy. Yeah. Really good guy.
He is. That's great.
I like it. Do you have any other questions about that?
Nothing really. Any kind of insight that you may have. I was just open to any messages.
Yeah. So like I said, what I would recommend, and I bet you already have this with your person, is if you feel like, because I still feel like you're going to need a couple days to hole up here and there, and to just kind of give him a heads up, and just go, hey, there may be some times where I just needed to just be by myself, and I'm not going to take any calls. And then if you let him know ahead of time, it actually makes it easier for him. So you don't need production of it. Just go, you know what, I still have some hole up days, and you have some manic days that are coming up too. And he's going to, and you don't need to talk about that, because he's an analyzer. So then he'll start analyzing, oh, you're talking about holing up, you're talking about being manic, you know what I mean? But what you want to do is that, tell him that when you start getting to that manic phase, that he doesn't need to keep up with you. Okay? Yeah. And that you would catch him whenever. You know what I mean? And what that does is that it gives him a breather. So the only thing I would recommend in order to keep this thing solid is to kind of give him a heads up that, sometimes you have to hole up, and that it's nothing personal, and not talk about this part. But when you start feeling like you really are on the go, and man, you got some really good energy. Like once you start going, you kind of forget about time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I would say. So when you see that he's starting to fade out, but you still got gas, then because it's not like you're this huge party animal. So when you tell him, just go, hey, when I get into stuff, I forget about the time. Please, don't worry about keeping up with me, and I just need to finish up some stuff. And then that gives him a choice, to either drop out. And just so you know, he probably will tag along with you, but he just won't. I'll give you an example. It's almost like, usually when you see couples and women go shopping further, and men sit on the boyfriend couch and they look at their right at their phone. It's that kind of thing. Even though you're not a shopper and he's not going to be on the boyfriend couch, it's that kind of thing where he can sit and hang with you while you do your stuff.
Right, and it's funny that you say that, because I'm actually in the process of selling a property that I inherited as a result of my father's passing a year and a half ago, and so it's a big period of transition. And he's also a firefighter, so he has his own. He's got a full plate on his own, and he owns his own business. So we have that good balance going on, and so I have the time to myself, when he's there and he does his overnights, and I can see that I sort of have been helping him to realize some things and blocks that he may have in his life, because he came in a little guarded as well, and you can't help but when something feels so right and so good, we both acknowledge that, and we've set the tone for our intentions together. But I just think I think it's over time he's starting to soften up a little bit. You have to drop those walls down, you know.
Yeah.
You can't believe that history would repeat itself, and if you go into something with those, you know, misgivings of the past, you don't want to bring those negative associations to a new beginning, you know, if you will. So I've sort of told him that in my own way, and I think he's definitely become more open to understanding that. He's a Pisces, so he's very intuitive as it is.
Well, that's really funny because it's kind of funny because he's kind of got that vibe. But what I will tell you, so the one last recommendation is, you know, because he has a set schedule, if you have a day that you need to be by yourself and it's his day off, you know, you got to give it to yourself. All right?
Yep.
So that's
Absolutely.
the only other thing. Otherwise, you're in a really good space and allow, like I said, allow those big emotions to happen, and you have the wherewithal. Which is
great.
Really good, and you have the wherewithal to do it with grace, which is, you know, that's a big deal, because usually people just go a little bit one way or the other. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for your call. So I am going to go to break, but before I do so, I would like to remind you that you're more than welcome to call in as well. The phone number is 657-383-0608, and press 1 if you want to talk with me. And also, if you're not feeling the need to talk, but you want to ask a question, please come on into the chat room. I'm happy to take your question that way. All right, so I will catch you on the other side.
Experience the magic of Angel Heart for You, nestled in the heart of beautiful downtown Benicia, California. Embrace the aroma of scented candles, essential oils, incense, and aromatherapy products as you wander the aisles of inspirational and metaphysical books and gifts. Enjoy the positive energy vibrating in this historical site where the well-known author Jack London was once a frequent visitor. If you're in need of a smile or a hug, Angel Heart for You is the place to visit. Do you have an intention or a wish to manifest? Experience the magic of our intention tree. Email us at angelheartforyourradiochannel@gmail.com and be included in our Sacred Intention Tree ritual. Just write us your intention and we'll offer it up in fire along with those left in our store. Then offer them again to the beach and water in Benicia. May angels be with you in all your comings and goings. Love, Angel Heart for You. Join us for the experience of a lifetime. Sacred Connection Sedona Retreats invites you to a powerful 3-day retreat in the beauty of the high desert. People travel from all over the world just to experience the healing vortexes in Sedona, Arizona. Through a series of mindful meditations and spiritual activities amongst the Red Rocks, let the land call you home to your higher self and source. Surrender, transform, Sedona. Sacred Connection Sedona Retreat is hosted by Angel Heart for You radio hosts Tana Newberry and Linda Grindell. Learn more at www.sacredconnectionsedona.com.
Hi, you're back with Cynthia Varkevisser, your modern day mystic, and we are talking relationships and the imagination versus projection. So I just had a couple of great calls, and I would love to talk with some more people. So if you would like to have a chat, the phone number is 657-383-0608, and then you just press 1. I have a great question. I'm not a great question. A great story for you. It's well, it's really funny, and it's so typical. Um, but it makes me laugh every time I think about it. Now, this story is about my kids are 24, so the story is about 20 years old, and the, they had this great babysitter. Her name was Jackie. Super cute, um, brilliant, hard worker, all these great things. And we always asked her how was her love life. That's how things went up, and it never failed. She said that she would love to have this great guy and this and that and the other, and that she was a loser magnet. So we would crack up. What are you talking about? And she says, I'd get all dolled up, ready to go to the bar, my friends and I, and she says, and there are all these great guys out there, and wouldn't you know it, but the one with the rattiest clothes, that didn't brush their hair, that smells of alcohol, is the one that comes up and starts talking to me. And we would laugh so hard. And so, you know what? You're not a loser magnet. But it stuck with me for a really long time, because to me, that is the epitome of imagination versus projection. Or we could say, law of attraction. What Jackie wanted was someone like her, and she deserved someone like her, and I believe she ended up with someone like her. But boy, did she have to do a lot of work. She wanted someone who was a hard worker. She wanted someone who was dependable. She wanted someone who took care of their appearance, and that they were proud of themselves, that they contributed, and what she was putting out was, hey, I will talk to anybody. I'm a little bit lonely. And so what she was projecting was that she wasn't particular, and that she just wanted company. And it wasn't true. So we would laugh. I still laugh thinking about that whole loser magnet thing. And yet it's pretty typical of, think about how the relationships go, and what you get versus what it is that you put out there. I have something that I still can't figure out, and I don't think I want to look at it right now. Actually, it's not that I don't think. I don't want to look at it right now, just because it is one of those really strange things that I'm attracted to, that I still like. And here's what it is that no matter who I pick, and I'm talking about ever since I was in high school, my high school sweetheart, really great guy, sweet, totally innocent, and and I come from a family that likes to play cards. I come to Reno from time to time, and so I taught him how to play poker, and I took him up to Reno and showed him how to do the slots and stuff like that. And wouldn't you know it, he's one of those guys that not he's one of those guys. He ended up being one of those guys that would go to the card houses and would gamble, and he would gamble way more than what I was ever brought up doing. I mean, we would only go up every once in a while, and so the next relationship comes along, and this one was a long one, and again, really amazing guy, super hard worker, very sweet. Didn't really drink too much, and never gambled. So just before his 21st birthday, we went up to State Line and showed him the slot machine, taught him how to play poker. Now, I want you to know that I learned how to play poker when I was 10 years old, on my first trip to the Netherlands, when my parents wanted me to reconnect with my dad's family. So I spent a month over there, got to meet the family, and it was an amazing experience. And one of the things that they did is that they played cards, and that's how I learned how to play, 5 different kinds of poker, that's how I learned how to play Hold'em. I learned how to play Hold'em at the age of 10. And we played for, dimes and nickels. And I thought that was brilliant and lovely. And so whenever I had someone in my life and I wanted to share a piece of my life, I would take them and show them how to play cards. Again, I played cards with my family. And what happened? This relationship he's a good gambler, but he turned into a gambler as well, and loves to play cards, goes up and gambles fairly often. Now, here I am, 0 for 2, meaning that I'm the one that liked to go play cards, gamble, do a little bit of slots, and here are these two guys that end up, taking it to a completely different level. So now I'm with this person, Dee Hampton. She is an amazing person, brilliant, funny, witty, and loves cards, loves to gamble. And and that's how we became friends. We became friends because we would do little side bets that were a lot of fun. And so my projection is that my intention is to have these amazing people in my life, and they are. And yet here's this one thing that I project out that attracts gamblers. I don't know what that is yet, and yet it's still so much fun. I'm just not ready to investigate. So anyway, I am going to take a caller, Lena in Florida, and Lena, when you're ready, please.
Hi.
Lena? Hey,
yes,
how are you
I'm
doing?
here. Good, how are you?
I'm good. You're in Florida right now. How's that going over there?
It's nice.
Good. How can I help you today?
Well, I just wanted to ask you about somebody. His name is Steve. We just can't seem to be connected. I don't know what his issue is. If he's with somebody or if he's not interested in me. I just don't know what this guy's problem is.
I'm laughing because I love that you say I don't know what his problem is. All right, so I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Is his name Dean? Dean?
Steve. No, it's Steve.
Oh, Steve, Steve?
Steve, Steve, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. And do you know how old he is?
He's 60 years old.
Oh, well, shoot. Yeah, let me tell you what's going on. He's got a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas going on that has nothing to do with you. He's got he's working on, he's working on things like if I could have done things differently, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. He's got a little bit of anxiety going on about his health. It's really not about you. It's more about him, and it's more about his past that he's trying to deal with. It feels like he's been going through some stuff for the past couple of years, and now he finally wants to rectify. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it's not you. It's not anything personal. If you see him talking to someone else, it's not because he's interested in anyone else. He's really going through some inner stuff. I would say that if he wasn't so confused about how he feels about the stuff that he's done in his life, that he would have regrets. But he's not to the regret stage yet. He's kind of like, why the heck did I do the things that I did? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, he's still trying to figure that piece out. Once he figures that out, then he can go ahead and really talk about, feel the woulda, shoulda, couldas. And then what'll happen is then he will kind of start doing a rectify. So this is not this is a pretty slow process. So, he's a good guy to wait on. But when I say wait, I wouldn't wait as in sit by the front door. Wait as keep one ear open while you go and have a really good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I'm not. But he keeps trying to see if I'm dating anybody, and you know what I mean. Like, what do you think? When to sit here and wait for him? It could be a year from now. He said his friends asked me if I'm dating anybody. Then he's asking, he wants me to go out with his friends. And I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? I mean, is he interested? I mean, if you're interested, then you come forward. If you're not, go away.
Exactly.
It's like he's halfway in me.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. So, and like I said, when that's the problem is not you. The problem is that he's confused, so he can't figure out what the heck. He's kind of like he doesn't even know whether he's coming or going. That's the best way to say it.
No,
and it's all based on and it's all based on past stuff. And so his bizarre behavior has to do with he doesn't really know why he did the things that the reasons that he did stuff in the past, they don't make sense to him anymore. And so that's why he's in confusion. And so he's trying to figure out how to be proper, and it's just coming out looking like craziness. So
when do you see this process coming to an end where he's going to finally start to come forward and want to? So is he interested in me, or is he just playing games?
He's not playing games, and he's interested in you as much as he can be interested in you. And the reason I say that is you have to remember he's kind of because he's so confused, he's not sure if he likes you for the right reasons or if he's liking you because that's a habit. So again, it has nothing to do with your it has nothing to do with you and your values and your qualities. It has to do with him and him redefining what does he want in a person. So that's why he looks like a crazy person.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a while. So I don't see him getting out of this in 2016. He'll start figuring out his behavior by the end of summer. That's a long time. It's a long time to hang out. And so I
met him last summer.
What's that?
I met him last summer.
Well, what's funny is that last summer he was still in this weird kind of space. It was actually worse,
Yeah.
So so it's getting a little bit better, but for you it feels weird, right? So again, my thing is keep one ear open for him, because once he gets to the other side, he's going to be a sweet guy, but until then, you're not really going to know who the heck you're talking to every time you talk to him. He'll feel like a different person every time. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's not like he's going to hurt you or anything. It's just I wouldn't recommend you sitting around and hanging when he's got a lot of stuff to sort out. Make sense?
My God.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
it's okay. It's okay. It's kind of like you're a delicate. He's doing the laundry. You're a delicate, and he's trying to throw all the different kinds of things in the wash, and you're like, this doesn't make sense, right? Right? The delicates don't go with the underwear unless you have delicate underwear, and that's what I mean. So that's what it is. He's jumbling all his stuff up. And the nice thing is that if you would have met him a couple of years ago, you wouldn't have really been interested in him anyway, because his viewpoint was different, and it wouldn't have been in agreement with yours. So I would be glad. I am glad for you that you met him the way you did and when you did. But don't put a whole lot of stock into him. And you can be polite with him. You don't have to be mean. As a matter of fact, politeness would be really good. It'll help him figure stuff out. But you're also not his counselor or his therapist.
No, I told him I can't, go out with somebody who can't communicate. And I haven't seen him in months. He just wants to sit online and chit chat.
Yeah, because he's trying to figure stuff out. And you don't even have to say it that way. Just go, hey, I'm really busy, and it was nice to hear from you, and that's all you have to do. And then you can go ahead and move on. So so my recommendation is to keep it even, just even broader than what you were saying. Which is I don't have time or I don't want to bother. It's just like, hey, I'm really busy. Nice to hear from you. Okay. Do you have anybody else on the line? Because I'm feeling like if you don't. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I mean, do you have anybody else on the line?
Oh, then you're talking to somebody else.
No, I was talking to you.
Oh, okay. So do you see him leaving me alone? Because he seems like he's very persistent with me, almost obsessed with me.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. The thing is that the reason he's really focused on you is because you're not focused on anybody else. So I see that there is someone that's available for you, not right away, but not too far in the future, like in the next month to 6 weeks. But what you want to do is to do that, you got to start cleaning your hands, which is, just say that you're busy and you want to be polite, but you want to go ahead and start dropping, releasing his energy, the guy that you're talking about. Make sense? Steve, that's his name.
Yeah, because I haven't seen him in like months, and I don't know why he's not coming around me.
It's better that he doesn't, because he's kind of a mess. You know what I'm saying?
God.
It's not bad. Trust me, it's not bad, but it's not something that's worth you to have entertaining thoughts about. You know what I mean? So that's what I would recommend. So so when he comes on, give yourself 2 minutes to talk to him, even if you want that. If not, just go, hey, thank you for, I'm so glad you're thinking of me. I've got to go. And then go away. It's actually really nice because then you can actually get up and walk away from your computer or, put your phone away for just a minute and then go and say to yourself, I'm resetting because I want to date this type of person. I want to be with this type of person. So every time you say goodbye to him, you set your intention for who you want.
Mhm.
Okay? And once that happens, once you get into the habit of that, the next person's right around the corner, and that's a fun one. That's a fun one, just so you know. Okay?
Yeah, I need some fun. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you so much for calling. Have a really
Bye-bye.
good weekend. Bye. All right, let's take a caller from New Jersey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing it. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF.
Friday. Now you're going to make me sing it really badly.
No.
So, how can I help you? Oh, I didn't get your name. May I have your name?
Hadassah.
Hadassah. Nice to meet you, Hadassah.
Yeah.
How
Thank
can I help
you
you today?
I've been doing my energy work, at least trying to deal with, a lot of energy blockage or drainage. But I have people around me who doesn't believe in any of that, but their energy affects my energy. Mm-hmm. In particular, my kids. My husband. I have one son that's constantly draining me, and he's a Taurus, very stubborn, and I'm trying to see how I can help him and the others, so that they stop depleting my energy, so I can move forward.
Well, I tell you what, let's kind of flip that thought, which is how can I go ahead and create really strong boundaries so that I can go ahead and be me, and they won't mess with me being me. How's that? That is actually the faster way to go, and it's a double win. And the reason it's a double win is because then what you're doing is that you are keeping your integrity, and then you start becoming an example, and then you get to teach by example instead of by rhetoric, right? So, and I want you to know that your one son, you have more than one son, right?
Yeah, I have 3 sons.
Yeah, well, I want you to know, not the son that you're having problems with. There's one son that really likes to, poke you. You know what I mean? Like tease you and poke you. And if you just kind of relax into just making your boundary, that poking will become the teasing will become a lot softer, because that is his personality, and but it won't feel so personal to you. So what I would recommend is I have a boundaries meditation. I know that you're working your energies. So you want to take your meditations, and because I completely respect the work that you're doing, and just add one boundary meditation. It doesn't take much more than a couple of minutes, and what it does is it helps put that buffer around you. It's similar to if you do white light meditation, that kind of thing, and then you just got to trust. And then it takes a little bit of time for you to trust, and it'll pop off. You have so much going on in your life. It's making me laugh, because it's like you get no rest. You know what I'm talking? You know what I mean? And so you need boundaries on 2. One is that so people can leave you alone physically, and the other one is to energetically give you some space so that you can just be calm and be who you are. So so I'll give you a really quick example, and you can cut in at any time. It's just that we're getting close to the end of the show, and I want to make sure that I connect with you. Is that when you do your energy work, do you do it first thing in the morning?
No.
Okay.
I usually do it late at night when everything is quiet.
Okay. So again, let's keep with the flipping of the thought. Try it first thing in the morning. So, do you have your own bathroom?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to get my own bathroom. If I move from here, there's a house that I want to move into, and I know that things could change.
Gotcha.
Because there's more bathrooms there, and there's more land there where I could go out and garden or get outside. There's even sit in the yard, because where I'm at right now, I don't have that type of
space, right?
Yeah, I don't have that space for myself.
Yeah, and so guess what? This is exactly what we're talking about, right? By you having more space, it's going to be easier for you to create your boundaries or your space. You'll know that the backyard will be yours. You'll know that the bathroom will be yours. But since you don't have that at the moment, find a place where you can have just to yourself, just for a couple minutes. And I highly recommend that you add the first thing in the morning meditation, and then at night, because what will happen is you're always on the defensive, and then you run your energies at night when it's a recharge time, instead of going, hey, you know what? I almost swore. Sorry about that. I was going to say, hey, you guys. Don't mess with me because I got my, bad acidness right now. So add the morning meditation, just a few minutes a day. What I'll do is I'm writing a note to myself. Do you know my Facebook page?
No, I think I'm going to actually look back on the computer and then follow the show, because I'm on the computer now as a guest. I'm not on my computer with my name.
Okay, so guess what? So what I'm going to do is that if you go onto my Facebook page, it is Cynthia Varkevisser, Modern Day Mystic. If you go onto that, it'll take me a few minutes. I will lead you through the boundaries. Point you to the boundaries meditation. I think it's 3 minutes long. And that's all you got to do. And then you just run that in the morning, and so it's three extra minutes. I would, if there's a lock on your bathroom door, I would totally recommend you doing it in the bathroom, and in the bathroom for 2 minutes. Have it with your phone, stick in your earbuds, and you're good. Once you do that, you'll have an energetic boundary, and that boundary is going to help you. It's going to, it's like body armor, and it'll body armor you for parts of the day, and you can always refresh, and then you can do the energy meditation at night, your energy work. But I highly recommend you do it in the morning. Okay.
Okay. Because I do work in a fast-paced environment, a lot of movement. I mean, they're just running all over the place. And then if I go outside to go take a walk in the middle of the day, I know I'm walking on concrete. I'm surrounded by traffic. It's like intense.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. There's no reprieve for you.
It's insane.
Yeah, no, I get it. So we're going to have the music cue in just a few seconds. So I want to make sure that I finish up with you. Don't worry about that part. What's really important is that if you have that energetic bubble around you, you'll find greenery where there's traffic. You're going to find the beauty. It might be, all of a sudden you'll see a potted plant in a window or something. You'll find it. You'll find that the breathing spaces will happen. But again, find me on the Facebook page, and I'll do the meditation for you. Yeah. And you're a lovely person, and God bless you for having all those boys.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy and have a great time. I want to thank everybody for listening in. Thanks so much to Miranda for her amazing show today, and Tana for keeping me present and honest and sounding so professional. Follow me on Facebook. I'm going to put up that meditation, boundaries meditation. If you're interested, just call me up for one-on-one, and I can help you out. I will be at Angel Heart for You tomorrow afternoon. Come see me. Have a great, 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 great weekend, and I will see you on Monday at Modern Day Mystic, where we'll be talking about psychometry. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another empowering show. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday and Friday to hear our live shows. Learn more about our live shows at www.angelheartforyouраdio.com and keep tuning in to the Angel Heart for You radio channel.